What up, what up? We are back. We got to get our NBA grind on. The season's about to start, coming this Tuesday. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. We've been talking hoops with everybody. We got the Celtics. We've been talking Jazz. Now we got to talk about with our also Jazz, but also Warriors fan, Ty. What do we think? How does that work? Two teams?
I'm the biggest Warriors fan out there. No.
How did that come to be?
Steph Curry, straight up. I'm not even gonna lie about this. I am a Steph Curry bandwagon from the start. Okay.
The start of what? Like 2015?
2014, I'd say. I remember hearing about him. Obviously, Jimmer was first. I say Jimmer was before Steph, in that sense. But no, yeah, Steph Curry was the reason I'm a Warriors fan and the reason I stay a Warriors fan.
So when Steph Curry go, you go.
Pretty much.
Probably,
I won't care as much about the Warriors.
Sure.
Yes, so
And then you'll stick to the Jazz.
Now with that, I love Draymond, I love Clay, love Andrew Wiggins now. So
You love Andrew Wiggins.
I like Andrew Wiggins. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I like him.
What about the rest of the squad? Chris Paul?
Chris Paul. Yeah, I've always liked the reason. Okay, I used to play basketball. The reason I chose number 3 was because of Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade. Throughout the years, I slowly started to hate Chris Paul. But I am super excited to see him play with Steph. I think this is going to be one of the best backcourts in the NBA. You have 2 of the top 5 point guards of all time, in my opinion, on the same team. A little bit older, but...
So better backcourt, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, or Steph Curry, Klay Thompson?
Oof.
It's just different.
It's
just different.
Yeah, it's different. I mean... Steph and Clay have Draymond too. Like, obviously these guys have Draymond as well, but I don't know if you can look at it just as a 2 and 2, right?
It's
kind of tough.
Not really.
Because they all kind of go together.
They're so different, and like we're gonna see. I mean, we're gonna see Klay Thompson play a lot of 3, guarding a lot of 4. Steve Kerr said. So what do you think?
That's gonna be tough. I think that's gonna be tough. Clay, he's a great player, but guarding the 4,
guarding Giannis.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup for him. We'll see what happens there, I guess.
Even guarding guys like Evan Mobley is going to be interesting.
Is he playing the 4?
Evan Mobley?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, probably, with Jared Allen at the 5.
You know what? The Warriors have always been like this. They've always been like this, right?
They've been different, unique.
Yeah.
And they always made it work.
Mm-hmm. And I think adding Chris Paul is just going to help with that. I don't think the size matters. They won a chip with their tallest guy is 6'7", right? Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, and that 2015 team. So I see them doing really well this year.
Repeat? Well, not repeat, but getting another one? Adding to the dynasty?
Obviously, I think so. Yeah.
Adding to the dynasty.
I think so. I mean, with Chris Paul, he wants to win a ring. He's running down on his last couple of years.
Yes.
This is one of his last chances to win a ring, I think. And obviously, Steph getting 5 would be a dream come true for not only him, but for me as well. So
we got to get it for Ty. All right, but we got to talk about the lead up to this Chris Paul. Chris Paul we're excited to see him in a Warriors uniform. I think it's going to be a great fit. We'll talk about the fit here in a sec. But, I mean, the last couple years, they win a championship 2 years ago against the Celtics. Now, I mean, we have a rough year last year. I mean, they still went to the playoffs, beat the Kings in 7. Steph Curry having a crazy game 7. Then picking up a loss at the hands of the Lakers. I mean, Jordan Poole, the whole situation there, the whole team dynamic got thrown off.
Yeah.
What kind of happened? What were your thoughts?
I'm happy to see Jordan Poole gone. I like Jordan Poole. I liked him. I don't like him anymore after hearing what happened. I hope he does good at the Wizards, but I don't think he's going to do anything crazy over there. I think we're fine. I don't think there's any problem missing Jordan.
He had 42 points last night.
Yeah, this is preseason too. Not going to get into it, but he took like 20 foul shots. So I think it was, good for him, but
sure.
Not really worried about not having Jordan Poole on the Warriors this season. I think we got better from this trade.
The chemistry's going to fit a little bit more. I mean, they're buying into the Steph Curry timeline.
Yes, and obviously I think Steph Curry is going to be the glue to this team because I think Chris Paul and Draymond Green are going to have problems. I think they're going to butt heads. even more, I think Klay Thompson and Chris Paul are going to butt heads this year. We'll see.
There's always been a thing with the Warriors against Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah.
No, Steve Kerr, they've had problems. I mean, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they both have admitted that they hated Chris Paul. Is it going to work out?
Yes, it will. It will. Like I said, they'll probably have some problems, but basketball is pretty cool that way because you can play against a guy and hate him, right? Like, absolutely hate the guy. Maybe not off the court, but on the court, right? As soon as you get that guy on your team, you're like, let's go, right? I think Patrick Beverley is a perfect example of this. Wherever he goes, the teams love him. The fan base loves him, but the other fan bases don't.
I think there's been a lot of guys like that. Ron Artest,
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Rodman was another one. We have these guys. Chris Paul, definitely a polarizing player. You either love him or you hate him. Doesn't seem like there's much of an in-between. But if there's a guy to do it, Steph Curry's the one to glue it for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited as well. I mean, it's just going to be a different dynamic on the court as well as off, but we're here for the on. With the big man rotation, what do you expect there? I mean, obviously it's a very small team. Again, we already mentioned Klay Thompson going to be guarding a lot of fours. Kevon Looney had a great playoffs, but it's still Kevon Looney,
Yeah. I mean, he's young too, right? I mean, he's still under 30, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think he knows his role. He's a great role player. Now, we don't have a big guy like a DeAndre Ayton or a Chris Dabbs or these types of big guys we're seeing in the league, but I think Kevon Looney's, from what I saw in the playoffs from this last season, I think he's figured out his role pretty well, right?
Yeah.
And he's getting pretty good at it to the point where he's very comfortable, like what Andrew Bogut was looking like when he was on the Warriors back then. Andrew Bogut found his role, and he didn't have to score even really 10 points a game, right? So I think he's gonna help out a lot this year. A little bit undersized, but Jonathan Kuminga is gonna help too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually gonna do something this year?
Yes.
Him and Moses Moody?
Yeah. I mean, the kid's still 20, 21. So.
They're young. They're young.
Moses Moody we missed out. I don't think we should have taken him, but
No?
No.
He seems to be an alright fit, but the bench unit as a whole, I mean, losing DiVincenzo this year, another good shooter. But we still have Moses Moody, we still have Kuminga, we still have Gary Payton is a good one as well. Is that going to be enough to compete with some of these top Western Conference teams?
I think when you get into the bench players, that's when you need guys that can, step up and at least hold the game, right?
Maintain it.
Maintain the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Gary Payton's a great bench player. I think he's going to come in, bring some defense, and help out. I think Andrew Wiggins usually gets in that second unit, right?
I mean,
and kind
might be this year.
Pops off a little bit. So I think Andrew Wiggins is going to have a lot of fun while Steph is off the court. But yeah, I think they'll be okay in the bench. I don't see them, taking Steph, Klay, Chris Paul out and them just going on huge runs. But I see them maintaining the game. I like that.
No, I agree. I think Andrew Wiggins, he's my X factor for the Warriors.
Yes.
I mean, with everything that's going to be going on in that starting lineup, whether Chris Paul starts every night or doesn't, Wiggins is going to be that guy to kind of hold the game together when Steph's not in. Absolutely. And so do you think Chris Paul is going to be a day in, day out starter? Or is it Wiggins going to get his moments? Or what do you think there?
Honestly, I don't know. I would say they'll probably switch a couple guys in and out to see what happens. I don't see Chris Paul coming off the bench. That doesn't sound right to me. I think him and Steph on the court at the same time is going to help. Now, they need to make sure they switch it up so that Chris Paul can run the second unit at least, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest. That will be huge if they can run Chris Paul in the second unit with Andrew Wiggins or with Klay Thompson.
One of either.
Yeah, I think that could be huge. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I think you always want one of either Draymond and Kevon, Klay and Wiggins, and Chris and Curry for sure.
Yeah.
I think that those have to be on the court. One of each of those three separate groups.
I agree.
But it's definitely going to be an exciting year. I'm not exactly sure what the Warriors are going to be doing. You know, they're all in though. They've pushed their chips to the center table. They went out and got one of the oldest players in Chris Paul, and so they're buying in. That's got to be an exciting feeling.
Oh yeah. I think all the Warriors fans kind of know it too. We're getting to those last years where Steph's getting 35, Clay's getting up there, Draymond, Chris Paul's already there.
Yeah, Chris Paul been there.
Yeah, he's been there. So I think we're all excited for these next couple of years, especially with the Nuggets coming up, looking really good. Obviously the Suns, LeBron getting to his last years with AD. It's going to be a really exciting Western Conference. So.
To say the least, man. To say the least. Well, I appreciate having you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck to the Warriors, your Jazz, whoever team you're cheering for this year. But it's exciting. Basketball's back, baby.
Let's go. 2 names. Stephen Curry. All right.
Isn't that one name?
Restart this, John.